Hello everyone, today we're going to do another episode of Single Variable Madness. Today we're going to do a little bit of a different episode. It isn't a solve for x episode, but it's more of a, we have an expression here, we have a weird x value here, what is the answer? Let's try to get that answer quickly. So, we have x equals 1 minus the square root of 5, and we want to plug into this. X to the power of 4 minus 4x to x cubed plus 4x squared. Now, do not just plug in x into each place and bash it out. We call it bashing it out, where we don't use any tricks or anything. We just do it straight through. We kick it in the middle. We punch it through the middle, and we just work at it. But that's not what we want to do. We don't want to do that many calculations here. We want to try to do this in a clever way. So what's the most clever way to do this? Well, I don't know right now how to do it in the most clever way, but I do know one thing. We can factor out some stuff here in this expression. We can factor out an x squared. So let's factor out x squared of x squared minus 4x plus 4. So we got that. Now what can we do? Well, we got x squared minus 4x plus 4. You might recognize that as being easily factorable into, that's x squared times x minus 2 whole squared, right? Because x minus 2 whole squared is x squared minus 4x plus 4. So, now what? Well, let's try plugging in our x value right now. We're not going to solve it completely. Let's just try plugging in our x value and seeing what we get after. So we got 1 minus the square root of 5 squared times 1 minus the square root of 5 minus 2 squared. Let's cancel out some. Let's just take 1 minus 2 over here. So we got minus 1 minus the square root of 5 squared. We can factor out a negative 1 from here. So we can do, so that equals, again, 1 minus the square root of 5 squared. And then we can factor out negative 1. We can factor out negative 1 from here. We can get 1 plus the square root of 5. But keep in mind, if we factor out negative 1, that negative 1 will also get squared. So we can just take out negative 1 from here. Just divide negative 1 by this, and that'll be it. So we get 1 plus the square root of 5 squared. Keep in mind, negative 1 minus the square root of 5 squared is going to be the same as 1 plus the square root of 5 squared, because there's just a difference of negative 1 being multiplied by this to get this. But that negative 1 will be squared by this exponent right here. So negative 1 minus 5 whole squared is the same thing as 1 plus 5 whole squared. And now, boom, difference of squares. We got 1 minus the square root of 5 squared times 1 plus the square root of 5 squared. So what we can do here is we can say that these two are just, this is just a difference. We can turn it into a difference of squares right here. We can say that it's the same thing as 1 squared minus the square root of 5 squared whole squared. So hopefully you saw what I did. We got this term over here and this term over here, and they're very similar, but instead of 1 plus the square root of 5, it's 1 minus the square root of 5 here. So this is just a normal difference of squares. So we put in here, we get 1 minus, the square root of 5 squared is just 5, so we get 1 minus 5 squared equals negative 4 squared. That obviously equals 16. So hopefully you understood. Hopefully I talked about it well enough. 1 minus 5 times 1 plus 5 doesn't matter if it's squared, because you can just you can rewrite this as 1 minus the square root of 5 times 1 plus the square root of 5 whole squared. That's basically the idea that I did there. Ignore the squares over here. All you have to do is realize that these can be written as a difference of squares right here. So, and then that goes over there. So we get 16 as our answer, and we barely had to do any foiling at all. Keep in mind, if you actually plug this into here, I pity you. So, have a nice day.